In this video, we will be working with thumbnail index. I have a similar video where I showed you how to create this interactive hover effect for your image gallery, but that was different because we had access to files working with image galleries. But when we have thumbnail index, we can see previews of our pages, but we don't have any access to HTML part of this element. And today I'll show you how to work with it. So we will start with just simple filter effect, but in the next videos I'll show you how to apply my complex effects, like how to add some text preview or something like that. So today we will be working with filters, and now you see that I applied filters. I use grayscale and brightness. And when I hover, I see the default state of my image, but you can use it opposite, like you can see default state first, but when you hover, you can use some filters. Okay, let's start. Let's talk about layout. I use a cargo template, but you can create the same effect anywhere. So if you use thumbnail index, first of all, it should be enabled. If you go to your design settings, you can find it here, thumbnail index, and you see now that there is like layout selected, and we have some settings regarding thumbnails. And on my homepage, if I open index page, which is like my homepage, because this part is basically my header, these icons is this line of footer, and this is like other pages. So basically my index page, this is like the part responsible for my index page. I can add some elements, but if I open code view, you now see that we don't have any HTML because these files are gonna be uploaded automatically for you. That's the difference between image galleries and thumbnails. How do they are getting uploaded? Well, I have a stack of pages like work with projects, and each project has an image, and you can choose here a thumbnail, like which image you're going to be using. But here I have only one image, so there is nothing to choose. But if you have several images for each project, you can choose which one you like. So which one you want to use for your preview. That's how it works. So basically all these pages should be active, like you should have this green point here, because if you disable one, you won't see it here. Yeah, and layout and other things you control here. But we cannot call this, like you cannot wrap this element into any classes, we cannot give them IDs or anything. Therefore, we need to use a selector for thumbnails, and I'll show you which one. So to select all thumbnails, not only for the homepage, but if you're going to use them anywhere else, this code also can affect it. So to select them, you need to first open square braces, and inside of them say data, view, equals, and inside of quotes, you need to say thumbnail. This is the first part of selector. Then you can say dot thumbnail, and the last part of the selector is thumb image, like that. Yeah, and here I'm going to use filter grayscale, and the value is going to be 100%. Okay, and also this is like too dull, so I'm going to use contrast, and the value, let's say 200.5%. Yeah, now it looks better. So we apply this filter to all images, and how to move it back for hover state. You need to copy all these lines, paste them here, and add after thumbnail, add pseudo class hover, and change the value of filter to unset, like that. So now when I hover over the image, our filter is getting unset. If you want the opposite situation, let's say you want to apply the filter only for hover state, you can say something like that. You don't need this part then, so you can also, yeah, use this effect like that. And you can also use not only grayscale and contrast. This is a list of all possible filters. You can read about it. You will find this link below. You have blur, you have brightness, sepia, saturation, invert, hue rotation, everything. And inside of braces, you need to paste the value. And you can check this table to check which measure you need to use. So let's say for contrast and brightness you use percents, as we used in our case. Here you need to use pixels, and hue rotation you need to use degrees. But yeah, and you can read what do they do, but you can also apply them and just check how it looks. But okay, and maybe one more useful advice. If you want to cover more browsers, let's say Safari or other browsers do not support this property filter, you also need to add WebKit like that. And add it before, like for the first line, and second line is going to be filtered without WebKit. So that's how you can cover more browsers. Okay, thank you for watching, and follow my channel to see new videos about thumbnails and what other effects we can apply to them on hover.